Hello everyone, it's Christoph Gavin here, and welcome to my Ace Attorney Online tutorial. So we're going to go over a lot of things here. First of all, welcome to the Ace Attorney Online contest. You may be watching this video to learn about the how to use Ace Attorney Online after this contest is over. That would be months from now, but just know that I will still be able to serve to you guys as well, who are just looking to know how to make a good Ace Attorney Online case. But so for the first half of this video, I'm going to be talking about the tutorial. That's why you can see my screen with using OBS. The second half of the video will actually go into the contest details. This will be uploaded, just a reminder to myself, will be uploaded on the main Google Plus Ace Attorney community, because this will be like the big main announcement video. There'll be a post about it with a lot to say there, but, you know, the video will be attached. And this will also go up on my channel at the exact same time. So, wherever you're watching, it doesn't matter if you're part of the community or not, you can join the community because you don't have to ask. It's not private, it's public. So I'll have a link to the community in the description below, so you are able to do that. Well, let me first start by saying that, I know that Ace Attorney Online, there's a huge stigma, you can't get anything done, it takes forever. I have found some ways where you can really pace yourself, and I'm going to give you a nice outline. This is how to make a good Ace Attorney Online case in no time at all. No time at all, obviously going to be a lot of time, but when you think about it, it's not. So we'll break that down as we go. Alright, so if you've never been to Ace Attorney Online, it is right here. This is aceattorney.sparkland.org, so you can search that into Google or whatever your preferred browser. Just make sure it's not Internet Explorer. If we go over PC requirements right now, which is important, Ace Attorney Online, yes, you can get onto the site in I'm talking too fast, in Internet Explorer, but it's not really going to work. So don't. Use Chrome or Firefox. I hear that Firefox is actually even better for this because it was designed for Firefox. I still use it on Chrome and it's fine. So, Chrome or Firefox, I guess preferably Firefox. So this is the home page, so we see the updates and such. So now what we are going to do is we're going to go to Manager. So to make a case, you need to have an account. So make sure you create an account, and I believe... Well, you'll just see that over here where it says log out Gumshoe Gant, that's me. It'll say to make an account. It's really easy, so just fill that out. Then you're going to click the Manager tab, and you'll see all of your trials here. I don't really want to show my the things I'm partnered working on, but alright, so let's say we want to scroll down, and we want to say create a new trial. So we're going to go title, turnabout, AAO contest. Language, set it to English. Create a new trial. Boom! Now we can hit edit. Click edit, and then you'll see this. Public release, make sure this is no. You don't want to make your release public until the case is done. You can still edit it afterwards, and the editing will appear on the publicly released version as you edit it, as you save. You still don't want that, obviously. You want it to be final. I don't want anyone changing. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way for me or the judges to know if you were to change something after you submitted it. But please, do not do that. Once I get into at the end with the contest details, in the second half of this video, how to submit your case, part of that will be that it cannot be publicly released until the submission is made. So make sure that's no. Definitely make sure. No, collaborators and playtesters are allowed. However, I will require that you, they are listed in the submission, and we'll get to that later. Very important that you guys do that. Alright, so we're going to click Open in Editor, and so here we have these tabs. We have Characters, Evidence, Places, Pop-ups, Music, Sounds, Storyboard, Save, and Playtest. Let's insert a profile. Profile name, Jim Bob. Civil status, alive. I don't know. Okay, hide at start. We'll get into that in a moment. Displayed name. Nancy. I don't know. So then you have male, female, typewriter, or none. If you're not familiar, I'm sure you are. If you've played Ace Attorney, you'll know that the voices, if it's a female, it's a higher pitched text sound. Typewriter is typewriter, none is none. So just make it male or female. And then the character base, this is important. So you'll have the character Now, this, you might say, oh, it's just the profile. No, the profile you select will correlate with the sprites. So, for example, Bruto Cadaverini. It does not have any sprites in the game. So therefore, if you choose him, you won't have any sprites. So that's why you always want to pick people who don't have sprites to be the dead people. That's my first recommendation. The victim should be someone who is already dead in the series, and you're just going to name them differently. So Bruto counts. He also counts because, you know, he's not dead, but yeah. So, like, Doug Swallow, another great example. Not necessarily, though. You could still pick, like, Ron Delight and just not use his sprites because, you know, he's not alive. So you can go by game here. The main characters, when I talk about main characters, this is the list I always refer to as. Just ignore, like, the 2 Pains and the 3 Phoenixes if you just count them as 1. These are who I refer to as the main characters. Hey, look, there's Kristoff. So pick a character base. Hide at start, we'll get into later. You can use custom pictures, but I recommend messing around with that. I'm not actually going to teach you that in this tutorial because it's not really necessary, but it's actually pretty easy. If we go to evidence, it's basically the same principles here. And now we can just pick something. Places, for your investigation segments. Phoenix's office, for example. Pop-ups, these you don't have to deal with, or music or sounds, because as you go along in the storyboard, they're going to pop up here. So don't even do that ahead of time. That'll save you some time. So insert some frames. Now what you do, you're going to be really just working on the storyboard for most of it. So this is the screen editor. This is where your music goes, your sound goes, the text box, the voice. Leave it auto because it will reflect what was in the characters. Typing speed, leave it at 1 if you want something normal. Unless you're a really old bag, you don't really want that to be much faster. And we'll get into the rest later. So let's go into the screen editor. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to predefined places. So say we want to start in court. Now, if you pick the courtroom benches, let's pick the Phoenix Wright one, you see that you only have the witness stand. So what you have is you have centered, you have all this junk. You don't want that junk. You don't want this. What you do want is you just want to focus on these. Centered is witness stand, left aligned is the defense bench, and right aligned is the prosecution bench. So let's pick right aligned. Nancy. Add character. Hello, Kristoff. So, you add a character, and then what you can do, hit the arrow, and you have access to all the sprites. Super Saiyan. There we go. Alrighty. So now what we can do is we can move him by doing this. Move him a little bit. We're going to put him centered. So now if we change this to the witness stand, he's a witness. You want him at the defense bench? Just make sure both are left aligned. Now we know that Kristoff, here's a little trick I have. If you apply a mirror effect, you can kind of make him look like he's the defense attorney. So if that idea makes you go like, oh, I want to use Maya as an attorney, because, you know, she can also do the mirror trick like this. Whoever is at the council bench, Trucy, Kristoff, Godo even. I don't know if there would be enough sprites to really make it interesting, but you know what I'm saying. Like, even Kristoff only has so many. That's kind of a fourth wall thing there. But you get the idea. Hopefully you guys make sure. I don't want to see anyone floating. This looks awkward. You can't have this for the defense bench. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Kristoff would make for a great defense attorney. Trust me, I've tried. So let's say we go to defense lobby. We insert Nancy. Confirm. Skip startup animation. Things like Phoenix's nodding or Manfred's finger point, something waving finger, something like Sonic. Something like that is a startup animation. You can play it before the typing begins, after, or skip it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can add characters as well, but that's not something I'm going to teach you because that's 100% optional, and only Dual Destinies did that, and, we're not exactly trying to go for, games this doesn't support. You can add bubbles. You can have Eureka, and if you want to make it shake, you can do pause. What I recommend is shake. These three things don't actually show up in the text box, so don't worry. A text box will not appear if there is no actual text in it, but now it would. So if we get into text, we have white, red I recommend doing for highlighting things. White is normal, green is like, the time, and blue is like, inner monologue. Oops. Yeah. Then you have this, so it shows who's speaking. If your witness hasn't stated their name yet, but talks, I recommend, the 3 question marks, just like the games. Now, if you want to say something like a word in red, how about we say, I saw object, grammar. Highlight it, and then hit red, and then there you go. Now, the next frame... Oh, let's do music. So if we go to music, say we'll pick... You can hold your mouse... I'm hearing this here now. Actually, you might be able to. You can hear it, so if you're not familiar with what it's called or something, you can do that. There are even other remixes here as well. Just try to be careful with them, because sometimes they're not very fitting. Like using the orchestrated, it can be done, but, yeah. So let's say we pick investigation opening. Now, if you don't want a song to end and you want it to continue, you don't actually input it in the next frame. It keeps going, which is really nice. So when you want it to stop, you just say stop current music. Otherwise, just leave it as none. Sound effect, we can have all of your favorite sound effects. And just once you click it, just click again here. Otherwise, it takes a little while, but go like... There you go. Let's do this. Detention center. Again, this is just a test. None of this is really going to look all that great. And we can wait for. So what wait for does is in milliseconds. So 2000 is good for... and then, like, I get cut off. And you can time it by playtesting it. So that's basically it for that. Now, if we work on insert event block cross-examination. However, I'll get to that in a moment. Let's try playtesting. There we go. Sorry. So wait for sound and images to load completely. That all goes for when you're playing trials, playtesting, doesn't matter. We didn't make any real profiles or evidence because we hit it at start, but who cares? When you're playtesting, so you can actually play the trial without using save states, but when you're playtesting, you can hit player status and jump to whatever frame you want. So if you are getting into the hundreds, 500 frames, just skip. Just look at your storyboard and say, I want to jump to 400 or something. Skip. It's really nice. I feel betrayed. No, it's fine. I'm not sure what happened there, but let's try that again. I believe I know what we did. Yes. We must save first. Hit OK. That text box will only come up the first time you save. Let it save. Playtest. Alright, there we go. Profiles. And yes, wait for it. Alright, good job, everyone. That being me. So for cross-examinations, you can have failure. These are pretty self-explanatory. Just have like a hold it, after your statements. So the first statement should go here, right? And when you make witness testimony, it doesn't count in the cross-examination. So therefore, you need to like have the testimony prior here, if that makes sense. And then what you need to do is, you have to continue by, you have to put the witness testimony has to be made here. And then you just copy and paste the text and make sure you have the same consistent sprites. You don't want Christoph with, pushing the glasses up when he says a statement. Copy that statement into the cross-examination and have him smiling. You don't want that, so make sure it's consistent. And then what you'll do is you'll have the first one be that same statement, right? Then the second one will be, hold it! And then the third one will be the continuing of the press. So when it says statements and you insert a frame, the frames are when you press. So let's be clear on that. See, these are the statements, right? And then the rest would be pressing. So if we go, hold it. So what we would do, let's quickly kind of throw this around. Add a pop-up, bubbles, hold it, shake, wait for 2000. That should be good. And then we'll cut to Phoenix, but he's not there. So we'll just go, Nancy. So now let's see how the cross-examination works. It's a little broken because I didn't really do much. But what I'm trying to say. I'm not, why'd I click on Bayonetta 2? I'm so bad at this. I'm not trying to set you guys up for failure. This it's just that I haven't done. You know what to do. It's just I haven't done it because I don't have the time. This has already gone on long enough. You know what I'm saying, right? So, all right. So hopefully that was just a little outline of how to make some things. Investigation segments are also self-explanatory. If you have any specific questions, please go ahead and ask me. We will get to that in a moment. You're not going to ask in the comments or on Google+. There is a specific place. Alright, so that's the genuine storyboard. Now, that's your basic tutorial of how to use it. But if you already know how to make Ace Attorney Online cases and you're just not good at it, well, I basically haven't told you anything new yet. So now we need to know how to make a good Ace Attorney Online case. Well, I want to start with simply what I expect. I'm not expecting the greatest case ever. I'm not expecting something 5 hours long, even 2 hours long, super in-depth, perfect. I'm not expecting that. However, I'm not expecting what I just did for you guys right here. So, what I think we should do is we should go over the rubric. Ta-da! This Google Doc will be in the description of the video and will be attached in the Google Plus post. So let me also first say collaborators. Because as I said earlier, that's kind of important to have. That you could just put none if that's not the case. Alright, here's the rubric. I want to go over it just because there's some things I need to clarify. So we go by category here. We have plot, pacing, characters, length, constitution, conventions, and creativity. You can get a total of 140 points. It's kind of styled like an essay, as you might have heard me say before. So, plot. You guys always want to shoot for the right side. And hopefully in the highs of this list, like 18 through 20, you want to shoot for, meaning you do very thoroughly on that. Alright, so plot. The case clearly establishes a story, and all of the occurring events are justified in logical order and go beyond basic plot ideas. Few to no contradictions. By contradictions, I don't mean small things that aren't explained for the sake of bleh, because the series does that all the time. I'm talking about things that directly deflect something, or something that really had to have been explained but wasn't. Those are like, so think of the contradictions as more extreme in this case, unless, oh, I didn't mention a slight detail. I'm letting those slide. They don't even count. Just so you know. Basically, guys, the reason I'm doing a rubric style for me and the judges is because, you know, I want to be as fair as I can be. And I want you to have this. I want you to know how to do well. So you can literally, as you make the case, and especially when you finish or you think you're done, look at this and see what you can improve on. I'm literally handing you guys, you know, the means of doing well in this contest. The winner of the contest, and there will be third, second, and first place, not just first place, will be the one who has the most points out of 140. It's very, very unlikely anyone is going to get a full 140 out of 140. I highly doubt that. My Turnabout Crash demo, I promise you, and I fully admit, is not a 140 out of 40, even though I made this rubric. It's not. But it's likely if you guys will do well if you follow this. There are a few categories that are harder than others, though. Plot is my most lax. It's because it's so hard to make a really in-depth plot. As long as it's something original, not, you know, copy and pasted, has some depth to it, that, you know, it's fine. You might be wondering, why is writing not on here? Writing is a combination of literally everything. It includes conventions, creativity, constitution, length, characters, pacing, and plot. So basically, if you don't have good writing, or your writing isn't at least half decent, you're going to get affected somewhat on each of these. So keep that in mind. Plot. So then we have 19 through 14, the middle kind of score, which is probably, it's a pretty big range as well. The case establishes a story, but is not very well connected or explained. The case also has more than a few contradictions. And 0 to 8, the case lacks any direction or consistency, in which the case loses all purpose. I don't think we'll have that happen, but you never know. Pacing. 15 to 20, the case has a strong pace to it and flows in such a way that no moment feels boring or rough around the edges. Alright, I'm not going to read all of these, but there are a few I want to explain. Pacing, score 9 through 14. I want to explain that when I mean considerable amount of room for improvement, I mean that some scenarios can feel like rough around the edges, and so those scenarios could have been further improved. Characters, just make sure the main characters of the series are present and, you know, executed to how I would expect them to act. Now, those go for the main characters. You might say, whoa, Christoph, what is a main character? It's the exact list that they gave you. I go by this list. Character base, main characters. It's these people. No one else. If you want to include your own character, pick, like, Lisa Basil and say her name is Olivia... Olivia Deacon. Deacon is from case 3 of Investigations 1, but you see what I'm saying? So, just a note, make sure you save often, and when you hit the back arrow, you hope you have saved because you're back here. So, just saying. Alright, yeah, that's basically it. The rest of it is self-explanatory. It'll be attached below. So if you have any questions, what should you do? Well, this contest now has its very own Gmail account. So please send your questions to me on this. Don't send it to don't send it to my Google Plus or YouTube, like good Christoph Gavin. Send it to here. Send me a Gmail, and my team and I will answer you. We will, and we won't take a while, because I know especially when the concert. Now, the contest is winding down at near the end of May. I know, I'm sure questions will come in, so we'll be there. Do not be afraid to ask anything. We may not be able to answer something, like, you can't be like, hey, is this a good plot? Like, even if it's like a very general idea, we're not looking at that. But don't be afraid to ask if it's something else. If it's, a question about how the Ace Attorney Online works, or how the contest works, or a rubric question, absolutely, we will answer them. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. So yeah, that's basically it for the Gmail. So what is my Gmail, you might ask? I am, and it will be in the description below, contact Ace Attorney Online contest at gmail.com. And we will get back to you as soon as we can. If you have just, I guess, small general questions, you could I really prefer if you guys would just send them here. I did make this whole account for this. Just because even if one question was asked somewhere else, it's just hard for me to manage them, So I'd really appreciate if you guys would just email me here, and we'll get back to you. Alright, I'm going over my list. What else do we need to talk about for this contest? Well, I guess the only thing left is I just have to say, do your best, guys. You have until today, starting today, until May 31st. You cannot submit any trial that was already completed before today, March 4th. March 3rd. You also cannot complete, you can't submit a trial that is even if you started it, on, yesterday, the 2nd, you still can't submit it. It has to have begun, and you can actually see it on the trial. Work started. It's done in a backwards fashion because Ace Attorney Online is actually, the creator's from France, so it's built kind of like that way. But so the dating is, the month and the day are reversed, but you can understand it's the same. And so the date I can see, and yes, the date and time counts for your location, so don't worry about that. Just know that the month and day are reversed. So I can see, and so can the judges, if it was started before today, so don't even think about getting away with that. So I guess other tips I have for this is pace yourself. If you have 5 hours of free time a week, Monday through Friday, if you have 5 hours total free time after school, when you're not doing homework or other activities, if you took at least 1 hour in that week to 1 hour per day, let's actually go with that. Scratch that. 1 hour Monday through Friday, you would have 5 hours done, and you would already be making progress. Or you could simply say, hey, I won't do any of it during the school week, but on the weekend, I'll work on it. Look, we all have lives. I have lives too. And I understand that this is a lot more work than the OC contest. But that's just the nature of the beast. Nothing against the OC contest, but this is a lot more work. However, I firmly believe that you guys understand that you guys will know how to use Ace Attorney Online. If you need any more ideas on the tutorial, on how to make a case, try it before you ask me. Before you send me questions on at Ace Attorney Online contest at gmail.com, before you send a question, see if you can figure it out. If it's something like, I can't get, the cursor to select something to investigate, that's a fine question. But as long as if you tried it first, then you shouldn't have that issue. So mess around with Ace Attorney Online for a little bit at first. And then if you have questions, I'll answer them. I know I said this would be the greatest tutorial ever. And it is, and here's why. This is the reason why it's the greatest tutorial. See, the reason I'm calling this the greatest tutorial of Ace Attorney Online for the contest is because the rubric. Honestly, I I feel that this rubric will help you guide you in making this case, because while not everyone has used Ace Attorney Online, or not everyone has used it well, this will guide you. And to be honest, Ace Attorney Online isn't that complex. It is, but I want to be clear, guys. I don't think that you'll have much trouble, and if you do, don't give up. Just send us a question. We will figure it out for you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here, the last main point, is how to submit your Ace Attorney Online case. Now, while considering the fact that, I'll be Bill Nye for a second, consider the following. If you would consider that the cases that are eligible to be submitted must start today, that means you're obviously not going to be done soon. Well, you could be, but probably not. So, even though this may not apply, you're going to have to revisit this section, but you should probably just know in the back of your head just how to submit it when it's finished. So the Code of Conduct. Please go ahead and read that. Thank you. Now, when you feel that your case is complete, and yes, this document will be attached to the post, make the case public in the trial manager, then send the email to me with this exact format and my team. The format is, you must have here, obviously without the parentheses and without these exact words, you know what they mean, with the exact spacing, please. Exact format. If this format right here is not met, you are disqualified. It will not be accepted. It will not be accepted. And I'm not giving people a second chance to submit. So, I just want it clear and perfect. Your Google Plus name, your case title, your AAO account name, even if it's the same or if it's different, I want to have that. That's a space in between here. The title of the case, so if it's Turnabout this or a blank turnabout, it's going to have turnabout in there, obviously. Make sure they're capitalized as well. Brief plot synopsis. I emphasize brief because usually there's always that one or two people who just write a paragraph. Just a brief plot synopsis. This, as well as the link to the trial, is something I cannot disclose as to why I need these. It's more clear with the link to the trial. Links don't work on AAO. They usually don't, because sometimes they break. In fact, that happened to me with my Turnabout Crash demo. So while I can't actually use it, and I'm going to have to search for on AAO and the judges to play your case, thanks to this information right here, the link somehow, and I'm not going to say how, but it actually proves to me it's a legitimate case. And I'm not going to explain why. This is just a backup measure, so I know it's kind of dumb because the link won't work. But if you simply just go in, don't play test, but once it's made public, just actually hit play and copy that link and hand it to me. Again, if you have a question about what link I'm talking about, you can send that to me. Then say that you agree to the Code of Conduct, right there. Just say something like, yes, I agree to the Code of Conduct, I agree to the Code of Conduct, etc. And then attach a copy of the rubric. Simply how to do that, here it is. It'll be a document in the description below. It'll be shared as a link. However, you can only view it. So what you do is you go File, make a copy, and it'll say copy of Ace Attorney Online Contest rubric. What I want you to do then, and I'm not going to do it because it's for me, this one's for me, but when you're done, make a copy, and it's going to say copy of, then the title. Remove the copy of, so just make it like this, and just put dash, space, your name. Like your, not Ace Attorney Online name, but like your Google Plus name. So that way we can organize it. Please do that, I'd really appreciate it. And then just fill out these things, and then how to submit that, once that's all done, then you submit it with, my tabs, attached to the email. Alright, so this has been the Ace Attorney Online contest reveal. I hope you guys are excited. Get making your cases. Come up with some interesting ideas. And if you want to collaborate or partner with someone, please do. Just know that when you're collaborating with people, the creator of the case is the one who gets the points. So collaboration and playtest is just for information for us. So you will not be penalized for your own trial, for example, if you collaborated with someone and you got bad on, say, plot or something, you know, which I highly doubt will happen for plot, but you know what I'm saying. That doesn't impact your own trial, and it's not like we look at who did what. It's just simply collaborations, just for, you know, just because we want to know if you made it by yourself or not. So that also means if you win, say, third, second, or first place, yes, all three of you win. So make sure you're all involved so that it feels like a fair victory if you guys win something. So yeah, collaboration and playtest, 100% allowed. Does not have to be. I repeat, does not have to be in the submission. As you can see, I only want the creator. Only the creator. Meaning that the case is in their name. So whoever creates the case cannot be moved to that person's name. So that's why if you're collaborating on a case, I recommend you also make one of your own, and then maybe make those people the collaborators for yours. The one thing that you guys don't want to do in this contest is collaborate on a case, but not make your own. It sounds like it would be more work, but you can all each help each other out, and give each other advice and such. Oh, I almost forgot. Your OC characters, they're allowed. I don't know if you guys are... I know some of you made the OC, were in the OC contest. You might have made sprites, and if you do so, you are 100% allowed to use them. You're also allowed to use the fan sprites that are in the contest. For example, if we go to characters, original characters, you are allowed to use these because they're not main characters. You can also change their names and their roles, etc. So these are also eligible. 100% eligible. So yeah, if you have any questions, please email me here. Comment below if you are excited to get going on your Ace Attorney Online case. Don't wait now. Don't wait. Start today. You have from today until May 31st, and your submission, all accepted entries will be submitted by 11:59 May 31st. If you're after 11:59 on May 31st, you are not accepted. Alright, so it sounds like, oh, May, that's so far from now. Get going now, because then you might be able to make a better trial, and you don't procrastinate. I highly advise you don't procrastinate. Even if you're on the fence about making this contest, maybe if your computer you don't think is good enough, actually try it. Make an account. See if it's manageable. Even if it's slow, could you somehow work at it? Or if you need to find time, plan out a schedule. It honestly won't take you that long to make a really good case like that. Like, let me tell you something. My Turnabout Crash demo, everything after, for those of you who have played it, everything after Manfred's, how should I put this, leave was edited in 2 weeks. So in just 2 weeks, I made about 30 minutes of progress. How many hours? That would be about 10 hours total, which spread over 2 weeks is 5 hours a week. That includes Saturday and Sunday. That's not bad at all. So you guys can do it. That proves it. And that's just a demo. That's not even... Those sections aren't even done. And yet they're up to snuff. So, I know I've said it a million times, but if you have any questions, email. Everything will be in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on the Google Plus community, it would all be in either the comments or attached to the post itself. So yeah, this is Christoph Gavin signing out, and I hope you are all excited to work on the Ace Attorney Online contest. Comment below if you are going to do the contest. That shows me that you're interested. You do not have to submit an entry until even the night before, but so don't worry. It's not like if it's like April 20th and I'm like, oh, I have no entries. I know everyone's working, so I'm not expecting entries soon. Just tell me if you're interested. That's all. Alright, everyone. Take care.